Welcome back, everybody, to week number 6 of the Smite World Championship qualifiers. We are on the European side of things here, and the competition is heating up. Up next, we're going to be watching TSM versus Agilitas in the semifinal round. I5 versus Cloud9 are facing off against each other on the other side of the bracket here to see who makes it to the grand finals today. And the seeding points, they're getting pretty close. And even if, even if C9 is able to get in the finals, if they play second against TSM this week, they'll be 5 points apart.
Well, just to confirm with us as well, Drybear, is that the top 4 teams in this go to qualifier, is that right? To a LAN qualifier. Is it top
Yes.
4? So, all these teams that are competing today should be moving into the top 4 positions, I believe. I should know.
Well,
no,
still
I don't
4
think
ways of
Worth Gaming is still there.
left.
Worth Gaming is still
and
there.
if teams are falling off hard, they're losing points, things are just kind of disappearing, and it's very easy for them to kind of fall to the wayside. Obviously, first place is 100 points. It's a lot. There's a lot of points to get. 60 for second place. Things kind of scale very quickly. So, if TSM, C9 don't make it in at all, it can get very, very hairy. But it looks like we're getting ready to hop into the match ourselves. And, honestly, what are your predictions for this?
Agilitas last against Worth Gaming, this has just gone on, which we were just looking over the results as well, Drybear. We were discussing the fact that Agilitas picked Ymir.
That's right.
And Ymir seems to have an influence in that game. I mean, Shaggy Shen played really well, went 8-0 and 5, yet Worth Gaming couldn't come out on top. Agilitas looking strong today then if they're coming out to fight. I mean, the likes of Zindan and Cobra Kai and Pretty Prime, they've been known a long time. These guys have been around the block. So it's not surprising to show that they can put on a show. And so what have they got in the bag against against TSM here?
It looks like they're going to have some interesting bans here. Scylla and Loki banned out there from the side of Agilitas, making sure Loki just goes away. I mean, he's just been growing in fame, growing in usefulness, and growing in effectiveness. Kumbhakarn is not in a surprising ban. Neither is Scylla, and neither is Aphrodite, but that's going to leave Ra open here. Hercules and Humbot still available. Apollo still available. Poseidon still available. All great choices, especially with Scylla off the board. It's very easy to go for that Poseidon kind of pick up in the mid lane, and with Humbot's around. And there's so many options there. Thor going to be highly valued here, and then Artemis as well, surprisingly enough. So they want to make sure that those two get locked in. Artemis is making her way back in the scene, given the fact that there's just more room for her to farm.
Especially with how the itemization's changed in terms of not everybody going Heartseeker straight away. Because of the fact that Malice got a small change as well. Malice plays into Artemis's kit very, very well because of a passive as well, Drybear. And one thing I want to note is that we're not seeing a lot of mages being instantly locked in all the time. Like, it's normally like halfway down into the god pools when you get the picks and bans out, when we're starting to see the main mid laners being locked in. And it feels now that, the game is in such a balanced position right now that mages, hunters, and assassins are all picked around the same time. Warriors a little bit off at the moment, but I think they will slowly creep back in as well. I think, the likes of Osiris, I feel Hercules, honestly for me, Hercules is flavor of the month. That's how I'm going to call Hercules right now. I think everyone's excited about Hercules and the fact that he got
as far as first pick, first ban goes, maybe. He's still a very strong character.
I think he's strong.
Deserves to be picked, deserves to be banned, but it seems to be falling off, certainly. Humbots is going to be banned out here on the right side. Over to TSM, what they want to ban out. Both hunters have been picked. Hobwile, Thor locked in. They might go for support here. Imagine they want to take out a Geb or something a little bit more targeted there. Maybe even going for a mid laner. If they've got their Ra and Junquei, Poseidon would be a fantastic ban.
It really would. I mean, Poseidon does have good matchups against Zonquay in terms of at least pushing power during the early stages. So, but then, do you really want to put Poseidon and Hubwa on the same team comp? You're not so sure about that.
The ban.
Not so sure. Well, it's a good ban,
Smart ban. I mean, there wasn't many other options on the table there, given the fact that they had their 2 mage selection. Agilitas didn't. They have their Thor, they have their Artemis. Nothing really else to ban there. And with Ra and Junquei gone, Hobwa gone, Scylla gone, Poseidon would be the next choice for them. They could put Hobwa in the solo lane, Poseidon in the mid lane, and he'd be able to be fine no matter what happens. Agni is going to be hovered on here and then locked in. Also a very, very strong pickup for the mid lane for Agilitas. A lot of damage being built up there. Support has yet to be picked up, so 2 picks for TSM. Imagine Geb would be on the slot here very easily. Amir also has been doing very, very well in certain arenas, and so I'd be excited to see what they do. Athena is still available. I hope Sobek doesn't get picked. That'd be good.
Yeah, I was going to say it is Trick's tank though, but he does like to play very aggressive
right.
And Gebby's a very defensive one to an extent during the early stages. However, he has the same mobility, sort of mobility-esque issues as Sun Wukong. You know, we've been able to use a rollout. So once again, you can see Trix Tank try and get out of a position. So he might go for the Gebby. He is going to go for it. And we're going to see a Mercury pickup as well.
I like this pick against Artemis, Thor, Habwa, all slow-moving, squishy characters. Thor and Agni, of course, get the distance with their teleports, with their blinks,
there
all
it is
that
again.
Stuff. But here's Emir, man. Emir,
he's back.
He's coming back. Emir is here, as we see. You know, Mercury's going to have a pretty straightforward time against, you know, Habwa, Artemis, that kind of thing. And you know, being a big Artemis player myself, you know, it really comes down to whether or not you have beads active. If you don't have beads up as Artemis, Mercury can usually just, you know, run right through you. As of course that first hit from the ultimate or the grab from the special delivery, and all it takes is a couple punches and you're just out of there. Especially as the game goes onward. So you know, both teams have a lot of damage potential and carry potential, as you can see on the graphs down below. And you know, Agni, Habwa, Artemis, Thor, all very high damage characters across the way. Junkwei, Neith, you know, Ra, even Mercury. Mercury being the hyper carries, the, you know, Habwa and Mercury on both sides. They both have nice hyper carries there. I'm curious to see how Pretty Prime is going to play here. Of course, very high ranked league player, certainly someone that you want to keep your eye on. Same thing goes for Zindered in the jungle. But you know, I think that as far as balance goes, I think TSM has a better team makeup and very versatile and spread out in all areas, whereas Agilitas is very in on their, you know, aggressiveness and damage output. So I think it's going to come down to who gets the initiation.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to come down to will Agilitas catch TSM out of position and look for the initiation under their terms, or will it be TSM that start off? So we'll see going into this one. Agilitas versus TSM in this semi-final, week 6. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're going to be seeing Cloud9 against i5. They're going to be fighting off to see who goes to the final this week in week 6. We'll be right back once the guys have loaded into game.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the semifinal round. Team SoloMid finally making it past the round of 8. They got knocked out last time with a sub in, but this time around they got full-fledged TSM action. Let's go play whether we're going for what team. TSM, the team SoloMid. The bottom side of the map, we've got Lobster on Junkwei, Spec playing Neith, Cubo, Fred on Mercury, Trix Tank on Geb, and Game Hunter, he's playing Ra.
And on the other side of the map, we're going to see Agilitas fighting from the top side of your screen, right-hand side of your spectator UI. We're going to be seeing Pretty Prime on the Agni mid lane, Cobra Kai on Artemis, Kanye Life on Ymir, Confrey on Habwa, and Zindan in the jungle on Thor. And one thing to note straight away, Drybear, is look how passive the TSM were in this duo lane. They didn't even go in the jungle, scared of the early invade.
Right. Well, I think they know that Agilitas likes to invade. I mean, obviously that's what's been driving them in the last few matches. You know, they go for those early start characters that are so good. Ymir, Agni, Artemis, Thor. I mean, those characters are quite good at level 1. They have a very strong level 1 team fight. And so Smek, you know, Smek and Trix on the left side, they're like, okay, it's fine. You can invade. You're going to get nothing for it. And then we're just going to get our camps and get ready to go. And so that's what they're looking at right now. And hopefully that's something they can continue to, you know, lean on. And one thing I want to look at as well is that, you know, it seems like we're going to have yet again a Hunter with a Heartseeker start, which I'm not sure why. No, Smek is known for innovation, but he never really deviates too far. And in this case, he's preferring to have a Heartseeker over Devourer's Gauntlet.
I feel Neith is probably the only one that I'm okay with getting the Heartseeker rush, just because she has natural sustain built into a kit. You know, the Devourer's gloves do give us stacks, as well as they don't, you know, you don't have to restack them if you die, but you do have natural sustain on Neith, and so the Heartseeker will give her that more damage during that early stages of the game that the Devourer's gloves won't.
Well, we got Boots 2 on Amir, a very strange start as well. No starter item for him. He's the only character in the game right now who didn't go with a starter item. So it looks like he's just going to finish those boots off as soon as possible. You know, given the fact that but more than likely, it could be just a Magi or Focus rush on the boots, doing extra damage, and then Amir's going to start rotating around the map and just getting great initiations. That's why he's so good in the jungle. As a jungler, is he's just going to come from behind, great stun, good slow, and a wall if they try to escape. And not a lot of characters on TSM can deal with a wall.
Yeah, the big thing about the Ymir Boots 2 start is the fact his mobility is increased and people can be thrown off by how quickly he can close the gap. But the problem is that if Smek and Trix Tank realize this, they'll play this a lot safer during the early stages and immediately back away. But he's looking for it already. Freeze comes out, backflip straight away from Smek, and nice and safe once more.
Mid lane, John Quay's coming through here and clear out this wave as Pretty Prime is pushing it up. There's the card on the ground. Now, we haven't really seen Agni, John Quay match up in quite some time, as of course you usually get one of the more top tier mages, Poseidon, Scylla, that kind of thing. Or even Janus, who's kind of coming back into the scene, or coming into the scene for the first time now, as this is the first weekend he has debuted. Geb is going to go into the enemy jungle and maybe even start up. Nope, there's a good ward there. We do know, oh, is he using the cactus?
No, he's not using the cactus.
Trickstank's using Mr. Cactus!
Wow, that's the first cactus
He's the
I've
only
seen.
person in the world!
I've never seen the cactus used. Why would you pick the cactus over the wacky waving arm inflatable tube man? I do not know, but he has done it. The biggest play of the game so far is the cactus.
Trickstank with first cactus blood here on the top side. Thor is now standing next to Mr. Cactus, and he has no idea.
He has no idea that if he goes near that, the cactus will give away vision to him in the jungle. And now he's going to have to be careful of Mr. Cactus because he's going to be granting vision for a few minutes.
Right side Rob versus Hobwa is an interesting matchup to watch. Game Hunter getting the better end of this one, it seems, as he's just keeping up in the gold and farm compartments. And we see that Game Hunter is just kind of playing it back. He doesn't really want to get caught out too much. Of course, he knows that Thor's looking in the area. It could be an ultimate from above, jumping down on top. And realistically, I don't think he really wants to force anything. Confree playing Hobwa, one misstep and then burst damage would be too much for him. So, you know, Game Hunter just playing that safe farm game and trying to play for more mid game, which he's very good at.
He is. I mean, he likes to be more aggressive when he plays the likes of Sun Wukong in the support role, but now that we've seen the rise of the Guardian once again in that position, he has to adapt and just play a little bit more passively. And someone like Geb, his mid game is very, very strong, and we saw that from Durgis last game, that if he can play it exactly the same, you know, Geb's is a big influence in these team fights and control.
Left side Neath is kind of coming along here as they push up. Few shots across the board, and now Smek is going to be clearing us out here. Smek is still going for Heartseeker as far as golden hand goes. He actually should be getting close to finishing that off. 1,000 golden hand right now, so he's relatively close to getting that item done. Cobra Kai went for the good Taros Gauntlets. His Game Hunter gets dunked on the right side.
He does, as we see the dunk down from Zindern coming out there. That was quick and fast, and Confree got very low, but manages to survive as well. Crushing Tide making a big difference in that one. And now we're going to see the first blood of the game going to Agilitas. So once again, he's showing that Thor's making a big impact at the moment.
Thor is so powerful right now. The mobility, the damage, the control. And, you know, one of the hardest parts about Thor is the fact that, you know, if he falls behind early, he doesn't really have the tools to catch back up. But if he gets ahead in any way, which of course he has, this game's the most farmed in the game right now, you know, finishing those Warrior Tabi early, that penetration makes a huge difference for him. And even then, everything after that is just, you know, smooth sailing. And so getting any kind of gold on Thor early makes him one of the most powerful jugglers in the game.
Bit of aggression coming out between the two in middle lane as Pretty Prime comes out on top in that trade, really, as the minions are pushing against TF. So, as it stands right now, that one kill does make a little bit difference in terms of the golden experience in favour of Agilitas, but it's still anyone's game, especially, as we said, with the likes of, you know, Trickstank on like Geb. Ymir's gone for the really fast boots rush. Like, he's gone all the way, got the Midas boots, so his mobility is going to be very, very high to be able to keep up with the rollout of Geb and look for opportunities. He might be able to find one on Lobster here.
Oh, Lobster's going to be rotating over
trouble
from behind.
But Mercury's behind.
On top. Can they find it? But behind. Needle coming through. You're going to hit on top. Lobster's going to going down. Pretty Prime taking damage here, dashing forward towards the tower as they jump on top. Kanye taking a lot of damage, and Cubo takes him out. First blood for TSM on that side, and there goes the kill.
Either Fred called out to Lobster then and let him know he had Ymir rotating in. Lobster knew what was going on and was like, okay, we'll still do this anyway because I know I've got Mercury backing me up. Great play from the jungler, being well aware of the situation and good sonic boom onto Ymir, taking him down. And that's going to tie up the scoreline for the time being, but Golden Experience still in favor right now.
Still in favor indeed, and that's what they're really holding on to. And, you know, the fact that, you know, it's kill for kill, possibly get a mid camp, something like that, but, you know, it's the small gains over time that add up, and it seems like it's very back and forth right now. You know, each team gets a mid camp, they're getting their buff camps. You know, look at the jungle right now. There's nothing that is spawned up that needs to be farmed, and of course they're using that opportunity to kind of zone the lanes and still leech experience. And this is a well-managed jungle on both sides, and I think credit goes to Cubo as well as Zinder.
It comes due to spawn any moment. Geb already rotating in there. We've got Ymir coming up around the back of that, but he's going to be spotted out by a ward. As he comes in, Mr. Cactus doing his work once again on this side of the map.
Love Mr. Cactus. He's just, you know, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves because the wacky waveling inflatable flailing arm tube man. He's just so strong. Frostworth coming out of Trickstank here as he forces forward. He's got the defense though.
Oh, good wall!
Great wall! There goes the hit! Berserker Rush coming out to double kill for Agilitas.
Go Fury!
TSM is gonna be falling behind here, heading towards the Gourd Fury, but the problem is Trix tank went down there. They don't have the support. They're gonna try and steal this with something, maybe a Ross Knight.
Sonic Boom into wall. That's not going to happen.
Great
That's
wall.
for the time being. Great wall again from Kanye live. He's
Agilitas.
really showing though. That's the big thing about Ymir, okay? Is that his cooldowns, you have to be exact with them. The Frost Breath, as well as those walls, and he made it pay dividends, taking out Geb and Trix tank in that, allowing him to get the Gold Fury. Agilitas is showing why they beat Worth here.
That's right. You know, they certainly have been preparing. They certainly have been practicing. We're going to see Ymir just going straight for the Midas boots. Didn't even end up worrying about Watcher's Gift or anything of the like. It looks like he just wants that movement speed for initiation. And in a very slim and very frugal build, just buying the essentials and nothing else. And you know, it seems to be paying off for him. He's 3,900 gold right now, 200 gold ahead of Trix tank. And, you know, honestly, Agilitas is coming out strong today. They're proving they deserve to be in the top 6. They're 6th seed going into this. And TSM being 2nd seed, you know, you'd think it'd be the other way around with how they're playing.
Left side, Trix tank trying to get aggressive, but the wall connects. Will Weaver, Sonic Boom, Kanye life's in trouble again. Freeze Breath, though, going to save his life for the most part as the ball comes out to try and slow them down. But now Cobra Kai's the one in trouble. He gets the ball onto Smek. Still going to drop down.
Kanye backing off here, trying to back away from the aggression. This tower may be under pressure here. Thor's across the map defending the solo lane from Ra, auditing the mid lane versus John Quay. No help is coming, and if Ymir gets too far forward, he will end up falling down here. The tower's going to take a lot of damage as they push it up, looking for some kind of defense. Yeah, it looks like Trix is just tanking it. The minions will be showing up. There goes maximum velocity to punch, taking the tower down. Looks like it will end up falling, but here comes Agni.
Well, Prime's going to try and get in here and try and stop this attack, but he's probably going to drop before he can do anything about this. He needs to be careful of getting caught out of position himself. No, he's going to make the tower stand. No, he's not. I'm lying again. As Smek gets that last hit on the tower. I can't help it.
Like it.
I can't help it, Mr. Cactus. I'm sorry. Please.
Apologize, Mr. Cactus. Give him a kiss.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cactus.
There you go. Much better. Right side, we see Confrey pushing this up, and in the absence of Game Hunter, now returning back to the lane. As far as itemization goes, we do see Devourer's Gauntlet's finished here on Cobra Kai. Across the way, Smek is going for Transcendence this time, so it's not Heartseeker, it was Transcendence he wanted. And underneath, it's going to work out. He's got a lot of mana gain from that one, now almost done with his boots as well. Lobster is going to be starting with Soul Reliquary. I imagine he's going to be turning this into a Book of Thoth for a lot of extra damage, and in mana on a character like John Quay, it's going to be a big, big benefit. Across the way, we can Confrey pretty prime.
Lobster in trouble in the middle lane as the damage comes out. The shield was big from Gabas. Fred tries to come in to reaggress. Zindan though goes up, but that Will Weaver still going to connect. Doesn't kill him though, but it does connect and force Zindan away, and the aggression is onto Herbois, and Comfrey's going to run back to this tower.
We're going to see Mercury heading up to her, looking for Confrey. Can they find something? Geb is in the area as well, but they just cannot hit it. Mid lane, we do actually see Pretty Prime and Kanye grouping up to push this up. It looks like the mid lane is going to be contested here. The mid camps are not spawning anytime soon on the left side, but the right side will be showing up in just about 30 seconds here. And so we'll see who gets that one picked up. Both blue buffs are being picked up here on either side for TSM. The left blue buff is kind of waiting in the wings here as Cobra Kai and Kanye group up and take that one down.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this game right now, I mean, we discussed Agilitas and the fact they're sat in 6th position here, and this is a 10-week haul for these teams to fight over and see who can actually come out on top and be one of these top 4 teams to go to the LAN. And if Agilitas have timed this perfectly and actually can get their run of form going now, Drybear, they could easily sneak away a position. I mean, they're not far behind the other teams. They've consistently come out okay in these tournaments. They've not hit the top 4 yet, but they've consistently turned up week in, week out, got 75 points to the name, and one big win, one big victory this week could really rise them up into the ranks of the top teams.
It really, really could, and that's what they're looking for here. And you know, shutting out TSM, you know, the second seed here in the semifinals means that TSM at most could pick up, you know, a very, very little amount of seeding points. It goes downward from 100, 160, 40, and then 25. So 25 seeding points for TSM at the least there, and then at the most, if they get knocked out here, would be 40. And so that's a good look for Agilitas if they can make it to the grand finals, getting at least 60 seeding points for their team and moving up the charts. And certainly something that, you know, they can start planning for the next few weeks. Of course, they're still in 6th seed, you know, a little bit behind Bloody Tech, but a 60 seed gain here would be huge.
Yeah, it really would be. So we're going to have to see how Agilitas can move on, see if they can take this game off TSM. But TSM are no slouches. They've been in this position before many, many times. I remember one time they were so far behind I5. I'm pretty sure everyone was spamming F6 in chat. But this time, it's not that far behind at all. The golden experience, only 1.6k and 1.3 respectively. Agilitas need to keep putting the pressure on the map and keeping TSM on the back foot.
Pushing up the mid lane, Lobster defending this one as he kind of comes together here. The Fire Giant's available. The Gold Fury is now respawning though, Hindu, and so you got to imagine Agilitas wants that again. We know that TSM really don't want to give it away. I mean, 2 Gold Furies in a row is just going to be too much for them to handle. Now, granted, even though they did get the Gold Fury, they're still just a Gold Fury away. They're 1,500 gold apart between these 2 teams. So if TSM gets a kill or 2, or a wipe even, and then gets a Gold Fury, all of a sudden TSM's right up in the lead. And that's the delicate part about this, is that neither team has really picked up a big enough lead for them to be comfortable.
Cactus dropped at the Gold Fury again, immediately disappears. Cactus no match for Frozen Ymir, that's for sure. As he picks that down in a fell swipe. I know, Ymir, brutal.
Scary.
But at the same time, his cousin is waiting just off the side of the left Harpies here and going to give vision of them starting this mid camp in the middle. Meanwhile, Raw, let's have a quick look at the solo lane again. Comfrey sat on 6,800 gold, but meanwhile, Game Hunter 6,300, so a little bit of a difference in gold, but the highest level on his team here at the moment. And it looks like he's going for that Hide of the Urchin right now, as well as his major second item.
Now, grouping up hard. Looking for some kind of follow-up. The Fire Giant is going to be warded up incredibly well. Looks like, Confrey's actually buying 2 items simultaneously. He does actually end up picking up the Soul Trap, but does still have the Enchanted Trinket as well. Oh, Gab from the left side could rotate over here on Cobra Kai. Are they going to be able to find it? Spirit Arrow does not land, so no good initiation there, and Cobra Kai is going to spot it out and head on home.
So as we wait around and just wait for the action to undertake, because both teams playing very, very safely, what we can discuss is the fact is 2 wacky waving inflatable arm men to 3 cactuses right now on the map. What do you feel about this, Driver?
It's a little bit too much. I feel like it's excessive, and honestly, there should be some kind of rule in place that prevents people from celebrating this much.
I agree. It should go back to basic wards once again. Trickstank rotating in the mid lane. Got to find Pretty Prime, but immediately sprints away. But now Zindern nearly gets caught out of position there as a rollout comes out. Right-hand side being aggressed again by Ymir, though. They're looking to try and take down this tower and even up the towers on the map right now.
Looks like Game Hunter's heading home. What will he buy is the question. Looks like he's heading for an Eye of the Urchin. Indeed, he is. A lot of defense there, and honestly, you can't blame him. You've got Habwa, Thor, Artemis, Ogni on one team.
Thor's down! Cuba Fred's in trouble. Beads are popped now. Trickstank gets walled off again. The rollout is going to come out in time as there's the World Weaver coming across to stop the aggression. Everybody backs away. No deaths again.
Now it comes the follow-up. Mid tower is still standing. In fact, all towers are standing for TSM right now. The top left tower is still standing for Agilitas, as this tower is dropping low on the solo lane, though. The wet paper is on the ground. There goes the clear. Jotun's Wrath is up on Zindern, so he's got that CDR reduction, plus greater purification. So again, more CDR reduction when activated. Those of you who don't know, the greater purification will actually reduce your cooldowns by 5 seconds when you activate it, while also removing CC and give you CC immunity for a short duration. 3 versus 2 on the right side of the map, as the tower is just vehemently defended here, but honestly, it's not worth giving up a kill. If they have to let the tower go, just let it go.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Lobster trying to rotate over there to help defend as well, but Pretty Prime keeping him busy, and now Lobster could get caught out here. As Kanye, great wall again, the Frost Breath not going to connect with the beads, though. Damage onto Lobster, but he's still surviving. The bucket is doing work. Confrey's looking for it, does find the crushing wave, doesn't find the glass cannon, though, but the spout is enough to connect. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but TSM haven't finished.
Not finished yet. There goes the kill on Cuba Fred, dropping him down there. Double kill for Confrey on the right side as they're grouping up. Geb is surrounded here. Kanye going deep. Rosman not going to avoid the Thor stun here. The hammer comes out. Soul Busting on the ground. The knocker for the water spout is going through. Wet paper on the ground. Each is going to buy time, but he doesn't have enough time bought, and he will go back to the base to respawn in just about 40 seconds here. Neath is back and forth here. Going to get the kill here on the Thor, it looks like, as he backed off. Interesting play.
Gold Fury, Smek rotated all the way over, but meanwhile, Cobra Kai went, okay, you go and kill my teammates. I'm going to do the Gold Fury. Ymir's over here as well. Comfrey rotating in. Smek, you've got to get over here and do something, because there's nobody else here to do anything about it. There's the Hog 3 going to be available. Great wall. Another pick up by Agilitas. That was really good play, keeping the golden experience lead.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they got the lead holding on to. The gold 3 is going to go down, and now 3,400 gold in favor of Agilitas. Again, I mean, this is a big opportunity for Agilitas. If they can take down TSM here, not only are they earning themselves some notoriety, and finally, for the first time in 6 weeks of competition, making it into the grand finals for themselves, they're also going to be shutting down TSM's seeding points. This is the biggest thing is that, the most TSM can get after this, if they win the third place match, is 40 points. Versus 60 is the lowest that Agilitas would get, so that's a big swing for them.
Confrey is sat 2 levels ahead above everybody as Lobster gets caught out again by the wall damage. The Whirl Weaver's coming out against Prime, so that's going to be a disengage. Great Whirl Weaver again from Schmeck. Shout outs to Smek though, because he's making an influence in this game with his rotations on those Whirl Weavers, where his teammates could really get caught out of position.
Mid-lane Lobster is pushed up against his tower. Confrey actually ended up going for Book of Thoth after Boots, and then Polynomicon to follow up here. Smek is going for Stack City. He's got Transcendence into Devourer's Gloves, just to make sure everyone knows he likes stacks here. High to the Urchin on both Game Hunter and Trickstick. Again, not all that surprising considering how much burst damage there is on Agilitas. I mean, you got Artemis, you got Thor, Halbois, Agni. Even Amir does a lot of damage there, and you really don't want to mess with that. Cuba Fred looking to prime up a Sonic Boom on the right side. Can he land it?
I don't know. We'll have to see if he's going to go for it or not. I don't think it's for the time being, though. Meanwhile, though, one shout out to Game Hunter as well. He's kept this tower standing for the longest time possible, Drybear, even though he's been pushed consistently by 3 members at some points of this game. The tower still stands. Even though it's only 100 gold, like, it will give a little bit more map availability to Agilitas, and it means that that lane is going to have to be played a little bit more defensively. Finally does drop them down, but TSM looking to aggress back. Not going to find anything.
They're grouping. Halbois is there, Thor is there. Of course, all ultimates are available, except for the Neith ultimate. Actually, that's a big point for TSM. No Neith ultimate available, so if a fight breaks out, she will not be able to assist there. Emir has no ultimate either, but his will be coming up shortly, and there it is. Boom. Respawn it up. So 9 out of 10 ultimates are available. No Neith ultimate just yet, so they're kind of buying their time until that comes back up. Always a great assistance to have the Neith ultimate come into a fight from across the map. While Neith sits there in far left lane, though, looking for initiation here on Cobra Kai, forcing him away. The damage is going to be insane. The trap's on the ground. The damage will be enough, and Cobra Kai goes down.
But you can see Thor jumping in, looking to finish off Cuba Fred in trade. There's one down. Trickstank rotates in, trying to defend Smek. But look at this. Ymir is here too. The backflip has been used. Is there any way to get enraged? The wall is not going to connect. And that was a big knockback from Trickstank to force the full disengage. Mid lane, though, we can see Confrey catching out Lobster, who's running for his life. Now the bucket is in trouble.
The bucket's in trouble indeed, running through the jungle here. Alba coming through. Confrey wants this one pretty bad. Running down into the jungle. The rotation from Solo will be enough. Raw shows in. Game Hunter doing damage here. Lobster's still alive. There goes the card from over the wall. Will actually start to slow him down a bit here as Trickstank's defends the mid tower. Zindard's there. We see the rotation from Pretty Prime as well. The damage coming down on top. And there goes Raw rotating over the tower. It will go down, but again, these towers are valuable, but not valuable enough to risk your life, and TSM really understands that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it does give up a little bit of map positioning overall in terms of where you've got to place your wards to make sure you've got somewhere to fall back to and know where the enemy's coming from. But mid Harpy is going to go over on the left-hand side to Agilitas, and Right's about to spawn as well. And if they can pick those ones up too, that means the experience is going to continue to grow in favor of Agilitas. These guys have really come out to play this week.
Yeah, you can tell they've been practicing, and I love watching a team that doesn't always, make it to the finals every single week, exude preparation as they come into the match. You can see that they've been screaming, they've been practicing, they're working on their routes, they're hitting all their skill shots, their itemization is on point, and everything that they've done up until now is paying off today. So shout out to Agilitas for preparing themselves well enough to make it all the way to the semifinal round, as they normally do not, and then facing up against TSM and making it look easy as they go ahead and make a 4,000 gold separation between them, and honestly, it just looks better and better.
Lobster's in trouble again. The freeze isn't going to land though, but the ward coverage from Pretty Prime and Kanye Life in this mid lane. Every time Lobster tries to come through these side jungles, he's immediately getting hit by a rain of fire because of the ward coverage allowing them to see him rotating in all the time. Really nicely positioned from Agilitas, and Lobster should be wise to it by now. He's got to be a bit more careful than that. He did this time though survive. The wall wasn't perfect this time, but 7-5 TSM on the back foot. But as we said at the start of this as well, Drybear, they do have Mercury on their team, and as the game goes on, Mercury will become that beast that we all know has a lot of damage.
They still have the Neith as well. Good rotation for Ra and John Quay. yet for initiation. But at the same time, they still have a hyper carry Hobble on the other side with Artemis, Thor, and Agni all doing lots of damage. And so I think, Agilitas is not lacking the damage department at all. And I would even argue that Agilitas has more damage potential than TSM. And so, it's going to come down to whether or not TSM can bring it together and actually get a good initiation off and start getting some objectives. Because if this gold difference continues on, as it looks like people are looking at the Gold Fury right now, it's really hard to be able to contest with that.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, at the moment, the gold difference is nearly 4,000 gold, 3,700 to be exact. And if this Gold Fury goes to Agilitas yet again, then when the team fights start to break out, those items will make a difference. Like, he's starting to mount up to be a full half an item now, pretty much, in terms of how much extra gold they're getting just from Gold Furies.
That's right. Thor's going to do the movement speed buff, so no potential initiation, although he does have his ultimate, so anytime a fight breaks out, he can just fly over. It's a very nice talent to have, of course. Right side initiation coming out of the Comfrey versus Game Hunter. Damage is going to be huge here as Game Hunter drops down very, very low. Dropping towards his tower, trying to run away. Cubo's on his way over, but he's a little bit late, and there goes the kill. Game Hunter going down.
Yeah, but Thor's going up now as Kiva Fred's going to run away. He does use away. Meanwhile, in mid lane, we've got aggressions. The wall comes down from Zindern, and now Lobster's in trouble. The bucket is doing the damage, but Lobster is in the fish tank right now. He's in the pot, and he's going to burn and to get taken down. Now Zindern aggressive with the rest of Agilitas. This should be a Gold Fury again, Dry Bear, as Agilitas seem to make these fights count when the objectives are available.
Confrey just doing so well right now. Book of Thoth adding so much damage. The boots adding penetration, and Polynomicon for a little bit of lifesteal, but the poly hit is just doing so much for him. Goldfrey's going to go to Agilitas yet again, and you gotta wonder where TSM has been the last 3 weeks. I mean, obviously physically they were in China, but it was only part of them. Lobster went, and that's about it. I mean, it was just Lobster and then Zimstar. So Smek, Hero, Fred, Game Hunter, Truxtank, 4 out of the 5 players playing right now. We're not traveling to China. We're not, the effects of jet lag. We're not feeling the difference of, a time zone shift. So you're tired in different times and all that. And so, you got to wonder what happened to TSM to the point where they couldn't perform, because 2 weeks ago, they missed out on Lobster, put Zimstar in, and all of a sudden they lost in round of 8. And it looks like they're shaping up to lose here in the semifinal round.
They're having a tough time of it, that's for sure, at least at the moment. I mean, the thing about TSM as well, the thing about the break as well, take into account, this way I always look at it, is the fact that 2-week break really throws you out of pattern, You're used to doing things routinely, time after time, like practice on a Wednesday or a Thursday and another Friday, then rest on Saturday, then Sunday we have the tournament. This week with the break, and obviously with some of the members not being there, they've not been able to get that usual rotation going in terms of their scheduling, and maybe that's been an issue for them. They're a little bit out of sync, They're not got the ball rolling, so to speak.
Sure, I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? Is that, you're going to have different separation, but, you think with a seasoned team like TSM that has been playing the game for 2 years, and they've been playing together a long time as well, they have that kind of synergy between the two. They have the camaraderie between, individual players, obviously in the long lane, the way they've been playing together. So Thor's up in the air, Hobwo's on his way over.
You see Kiva Fred being the focus there, wall misses as well, he immediately gets away, so that's the ultimate down for the time being as Cobra Kai rotates in, and now the whole team of Agilitas are the ones that are choosing to do the group up opportunity. They realise they have a golden experience lead here, with the Gold Fury being down as well. They're looking for a fight. Will they be able to find one? Kanye is actually leading them into battle here, looking for an opportunity, blinking from Trickspec, great cataclysm, Sonic Boom connects, doesn't find a lot of damage though as Cobra Kai pops the balls, and that's going to slow them all down for the most part. The bucket is doing work, also known as Lobster, on that Zhong Kui, but everybody still stands right now, and with Ra being available, he should be able to heal them back up. But Agilitas aren't finished yet, I don't feel. I mean, they're healthy enough to continue fighting.
They absolutely are. So movement speed can be picked up and stolen away. Again, more insult to injury added to TSM here, as they're not even able to get their own freaking jungle buffs. That's the biggest thing. Losing out gold and experience, as well as the fact they don't have those buffs that amplify their damage and effectiveness. And so really waiting to see if they can kind of pull that one out there. The Gold Fury is not available, but the Fire Giant certainly is. So if Agilitas gets a single kill or some kind of pick, they'll run right over there and take that Fire Giant. As far as the towers go, it's a 1 tower differential. Agilitas is up by 1 tower. That's going to be a total of 500 gold. Not really that big of a deal, and certainly not a result of, they're not resulting in the 6,000 gold lead that they have now.
So we're hitting towards the mid-late stages of the game now. 25 minutes is on the game clock. That's going to mean as well that the respawns are longer, so any mistake by these teams could result in a Fire Giant. And if TSM can win one good fight, this game is easily turnaroundable straight away if one team fight happens that goes badly for Agilitas. So Agilitas need to be careful as well. But at the moment, the great wall coverage from both teams coming out at the moment, though, TSM with the slight advantage in terms of that.
Oh, TSM is kind of known for keeping that control. Trick Tank is just always everywhere, and so especially on Geb with that rollout, allowed him to get the really distance control that he needs.
Trick's in trouble.
Trick's in trouble. He needs to survive here. Cataclysm, Emir ultimately gonna do huge damage. Trick Tank goes down with the Pretty Prime here as they're backing off, and that is their Hog 3. Cubofred, the only other Hog on the team, is Cog 1. They've got nothing they have to do with his abilities.
This is dangerous to do the fire giant. I know they've not got a Hog 3, but all the damage to the still alive. A wall was great again, and now Game Hunter is cut out. The beads are important as he tries to stay in his circle to continue healing up. Lobster's very, very low. He needs to watch the position. Great save in pain, though, lands onto Confrey, and that's going to force him back as the Whirlweaver connects too. Confrey's super low now, and that's a good play from TSM to force a disengage from Agilitas attempting the fire giant.
Fire Giant is still available. They're looking for it, and honestly, they have a lot of good zone control with Thor there. Looks like they're going to head home and just forego the Fire Giant for the time being. Now they're going to go for the mid camps as it all clears out here. Mercury making us look at the mid camps, as is right. I mean, if he wants to direct our attention, he certainly can, but directing our attention is what we're going to do to Cobra Kai, who's level 20 right now, sitting at 12.6k gold up. Thor's up.
Buzz down. Cuba's in trouble. Gonna have to use the beast to get away. The backflip from Smite comes out as well. Prime trying to get the damage onto Cuba, who dodges the last make it rain just in time. As Lobster takes a lot of damage again. Zinder's gonna continue the aggression. Full disengage again from the teams. Meanwhile, Game Hunter off split pushing this side as Kanye Life rotates round. You can see the whole team are turning up for this one, Drybear. Game Hunter's in trouble.
Game Hunter's on the right side, now being surrounded here as they run right over, forcing him back. Does he have an ultimate? Looks like he does not have an ultimate available. Forced back. He does have his each statement available though. Purification beats on top. There goes the hit. Searing Pain coming through, not going to land. Gabshell will prevent him. The Cataclysm goes out here. Confrey forced back, trying to go on top of Zinder. Zinder will be away from this one. He has no ultimate available, so no distance control there. The wards are on the ground. You know Agilitas really wants to get this Fire Giant, but they'll have to get a pick or two. Obviously, Trick's tanking killed off before was their window, but decided not to go for it and kind of play a little bit safer there. Now the ward coverage is starting to come out here for Agilitas. They have 2 sentry wards, 3 sentry wards around the Fire Giant Hindu, actually covering this on all angles, and TSM is struggling to find a foothold here to even contest with Agilitas.
Yeah, they really are. And Agilitas right now, they need to go for the Fire Giant. The reason I say this is they just spent a lot of ultimates from TSM. They have all 5 available. Meanwhile, only Schmeck and Cuba Fred have theirs up, and if they continue on where they are right now, they could actually fight and do really well. Crushing Wave available, Kanye's got his available, Make It Rain obviously near enough always available on Agony, and then Thor can also go up.
Thor will be able to do that. Match is busting
get in trouble!
Now going on top. Yeah, being forced away here. The damage is going to be insane as they jump right on top, forcing away. But there's Mercury in the backside. Cuba does not want to get caught here. They're groping over. They don't have Artemis. TSM might have a chance to take this out here, but the problem is they can't get too close to Habwa. The damage there. Thor's up in there. They might be looking for Smek in the backside. The backflip comes through as the dunk comes down on them. Lobster in the jungle here, forcing him back. Couldn't be enough damage as Mercury comes on through. Artemis with the flank on the left side. The Emerald Ultimate will do huge damage here as Lobster's lower and lower and lower. The bomb coming down from Pretty Prime on the backside. Game Hunter goes out. Huge numbers on Smek. 1,000 damage dealt. There's the Cataclysm on 4. Can he do enough damage to take a kill? Smek will go down. Double kill for Confrey as the tower is backing up here. The Fire Giant is available. No one on Agilitas died. It's a 4-for-0 exchange. Agilitas this close to a deicide, and now it's all on Trick's take to steal away this Fire Giant.
They're going to see him coming. They're going to be waiting in the wings for him, but they've got to be careful who juggles aggro, because whoever gets it is going to take a lot of damage, and the health bars are low. Zinder doing his best to zone. Fire Giant is taken. Trick's tank cannot get involved. Agilitas looking good here, looking for the finals. TSM could be knocked down to 3rd minimum.
Looks like they're in a very, very strong lead right now. 8,000 gold in a lead, plus a Fire Giant buff that is ever so amplified, and TSM is not looking like the typical team that we know and love, given the respect that they deserve here. And Agilitas has obviously been preparing as much as they possibly can, and coming out today very strong. Confrey has that rod. He's got that Polynomicon, full penetration with the shard. Habwa is a wrecking force right now.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, the whole team of Agilitas playing so well, taking a page out of Worth Gaming's book. Right, but look at this, right? We had C9 and TSM, the top 2 teams in EU, yeah, and everyone was always saying it's those 2 teams. And since this tournament has begun, we've seen Worth Gaming, we've seen Bloody Tech, we've seen i5, we're seeing this week, we're seeing Agilitas. All these teams are coming out to play, and it's so wide open, it's so close at the top that even TSM and Cloud9 are having issues against these teams.
forced away. The gold tree will go down as well. The gold is just getting more and more. We got 10,000 gold lead now for Agilitas, 14-5, and TSM. They're yet to pick up some really strong core items for themselves. You know, just finishing their third item. A lot of players though. Smek does have the chin size and devours gauntlets and transcendence as well. So a lot of damage, and that chin size is really going to coalesce into some strong attack speed based damage output. But you know, honestly, if I'm TSM right now, I'm backing out this tower. I'm leaving this alone. I don't even want to contest this. I don't even worry about the kind of blink potential there as we can see it coming in.
And the wall comes down, forcing them back. Great walls from Kanye Life on that Ymir, and it's been one of those picks that people haven't been aware of, and he just randomly did it against Worth Gaming today, and he's come out on top, and he's showing why he's playing. A great wall though from Zindern, and the aggression of Lobster is hot, and he's in trouble as the wall connects again very, very low, but they've got to be careful about overextending his Cuba. Fred goes in deep, has to use B's tricks and uses Cataclysm. Only on Confrey may pay the price for this, as Smek is still alive though, on full health. Can Smek turn this round? He's chasing Prime. Prime has to sprint away. Great wall from him. Cobra Kai though does secure another, but Smek's not had enough. He's still going aggressive. The first breath is important. Prime gonna land and make it ring. He wants to continue with Game Hunter. It does connect some more damage onto Prime, and this could be the turnaround, but once again the wall comes out from Kanye, and he's going to be able to walk away from this.
Oh, they're looking for it though. 3 players on. Game Hunter is in the front, too far forward here as they try to rotate over. Thor's in the area, does not have an ultimate, so they're going to back away from that one as they head on home. No heals available there just yet, and honestly no objectives either. We're going to see actually, oh, is Zindern sneaking over here, puts a ward down, doesn't really have anything to show off there, so he's going to head back over to the mid lane where he's going to find Lobster here, looking forward to something. Cuba Fred does have a dash available. Will they actually go for this fight here? They're looking for it. There goes the kill on Lobster. Lobster getting forced there. Cubo getting low as well. Does Thor try to follow up on this one? No, he doesn't, but he just does so much damage.
Is this Thor's day? I thought it was Sunday.
No, it's Sunday, but...
Is it? Okay. I'm confused because Thors are playing amazing today. Like, everyone who's picked up Thor today has been on top form. Shout out that previous fight, though, to Smek, whose positioning was fantastic throughout. Stayed on the backside, didn't take any damage whatsoever, and then turned it round, looked for the opportunity, and actually made it a 1-for-1 trade. But then Lobster gets slightly caught out again by Zindern, going aggressive on that Thor. And now, once again, Fire Giant still on Team Agilitas. They're looking to put pressure down and take some more of these towers out. Right side looks like the focus.
Granted, the Fire Giant buff is about to fall off here, so that's not going to last too much longer. And then, of course, everyone has to group up and try to defend the Fire Giant as it respawns. And there goes popping of Magi's Blessing. Good play by Trickstank. He's just trying to poke them down and make sure that those Magi's are not on
wall again.
Not available. There's the Frost Breath here on Trickstank. The good shield from Geb, though, forcing him back. And, of course, Trickstank needs to survive this if he wants to be able to contest the next Fire Giant. Now they're going to take the tower for free. It's 1,500 more gold for their team. 16-6 here. Agilitas is looking sharper and sharper. 12,700 gold in the lead. It's a new team fight is about to begin.
Oh, great cataclysm from Trickstank. There's the Sonic Boom. Cobra Kai's in trouble, drops the ball. Trying to stay alive. He's still alive for the time being, but now he's not. Lobster takes him out. Smek's doing work as well. Smek's still alive. Zindern's going in deep for Game Hunter. Not going to find it. Smek's going to chase onto Ymir. This is the turnaround TSM have been waiting for. 10-18. Fire Giant about to spawn. Respawns 50 seconds, Dry Bear. TSM going to turn it back round. This one's still going.
They're looking for the Fire Giant. Mr. Cactus is standing tall and defending that Fire Giant as it's about to respawn. They're looking for the mid tower. Just some extra gold added on, trying to catch up and clear that gap there. They're going to be able to get that one. And Fire Giant, again, still respawning shortly. I think they realize that they have a time frame here that no one's going to defend their tower. Looking for the mid tower here as Kanye shows up. Good wall to slow down the minions. Good wall to slow down the basic attacks as well from Smek on the backside. Looks like this tower will be going down in the process. There it goes. That's 2,000 gold in the lead, or reduced from the lead of Agilitas already, just from towers, plus the kills, plus the jungle camps. Now heading over to the Fire Giant buff. They know they have a little bit of time here. The players are just now respawning. Ymir is on the back and should have Hand of the Gods 3 available, so as long as they zone him out, this should be a Fire Giant.
Kanye trying to make his way through, actually putting some damage down as he gets zoned out by 2. Only Smek dealing the damage. And Kanye realizes it's taken them a long time to do this because they're too busy keeping him busy. Kanye's doing good work by just being around here. Actually does some good damage, but now Smek is doing work as well. He's inside the Blessing as well. Trickstank still tanking it up. Kanye is going to drop, but the rest of the team is here now, Dry Bear. The fight's going to continue.
Yep, on the Fire Giant starting up.
Pulls up.
Cobra Kai's in there. Thor's gonna get a good dunk.
Trickstick
Unfortunately, Smack dropping very low here. Trickstick dropping low as well. Trickstick will go down, but before the Fire Giant goes into an area here, and there goes the Fire Giant going
goodness,
to Agilitas.
wave.
Trickstick going down. The damage is gonna be huge. Mercury trying to get away. There's the major look. Pops the ultimate, but he can't get it in time. He gets bursted down. Smack will fall. Double kill for Confrey. Lobster's there. Game Hunter's in the area, but nowhere to go. Lobster with the flank. This may have been a big mistake for him as he comes on through. Triple kill for Confrey coming down from below. Game Hunter goes back home, but TSM in the game of throws gives the Fire Giant to Agilitas. The game will be coming to a close here as Game Hunter is charged with defending his Titan against very angry Agilitas members.
I cannot believe Agilitas pulled that one back. Shout out to Wasting Time. Kanye left coming out towards the end. I don't know what the decision was though, because Trickstank stayed attacking the Fire Giant driver, taking a lot of damage. The other two members switched off the Fire Giant to go and take him out, and then the rest of the team respawned in time. I just don't know what the call was. I think they got
it was
a
just
bit of bad communication.
A whole lot of dissension, a lack of communication. TSM was just not together as a unit there. Obviously, Trickstank did not want to give up the Fire Giant. He was very close to being able to execute it. He figured he'd be able to pop the shield up and be able to hold on to it long enough to execute it right in range and secure it. And I think, Trickstank in his mind is thinking, if I can survive long enough to execute the Fire Giant and get it to my team, even if I die, that's all I want to do. That's my main focus here. But TSM, I mean, they were forced away. I mean, obviously at this point, they were still about 9,000 gold behind. Even with the 2 towers they got and the big turnaround they got in front of their own Phoenix was a big gain for them. At the same time, they were still pretty behind in gold, still pretty behind in experience, and they didn't really have the core items they needed to start hitting those maximum number values. And so they really need to be careful about how they engage there. And that was an engagement that would have been great if they were closer together in gold, but they certainly weren't. Trickstank going down means the gold, or the Fire Giant, I'm sorry, was guaranteed to Agilitas. The Hand of the Gods 3 was available there from Amir, and without a Trickstank available, they really didn't have any execution properties. It would have been coming down to abilities, but there's no ability in the game that will do enough on a consistent or reliable basis to execute from 25% like the enemy Amir would be.
So quick look at the brackets coming on your screens any second now. We're going to see how this week 6 developed. Going to be closing out. We can see in the top half we saw i5 versus Cluelessness a little bit earlier on. i5 moved on. Exposed Secrets did get beat by Cloud9, and those two faced off in the upper bracket for the last place for the final spot this week. And then we saw that Cloud9 are going to be the ones going into the final to face off against this week's new people to reach the final for the first time, Agilitas, who we just saw take out TSM. But that does mean TSM versus i5 will be vying for that 3rd and 4th place positions in the losers final.
Yeah, that's right. Honestly, a lot of people complain about, it's always the same teams every week, or, it's so hard to be a new team. It's so hard to kind of make yourself, known, and that just certainly isn't true. We've seen Worth climb all the way to the charts. They won 2 weeks in a row. They went to the finals 2 weeks in a row. We know that i5 has done this, similar things, conquering through the brackets. Agilitas came out today and beat very well-known players. Worth, of course, and then right after that, they had to face TSM, and now they have to face C9. The worst bracket progressions they could ever have. Worth, TSM, C9 all in a row.
Amazing.
That's rough, but they made it through all the way to the last game here, or last set of games. We're going to the grand finals, best of 3 between Agilitas and C9. C9 is looking sharp this week, so if Agilitas really wants to engrave their names in stone, this is the time to do it. This is the place to do it. If they get first place this week, they should be able to move up into 5th seed here, knocking down Cluelessness, but it depends how well they do today. TSM being knocked into 3rd place means that C9 is going to solidify their 1st place slot, given the fact that C9 at the least would get 60 points if they got 2nd place. TSM at the best, they can get 40, of course, in that 3rd place bronze match, but the gap is already 35, and so that'll just going to keep extrapolating between the two teams. And we'll see if C9 gets 1st place here and TSM gets 4th, that gap is just so big that it would take multiple weeks for TSM to take that 1st place slot away from them. But we're going to cut to a brief break, guys, and we're getting ready to prepare for the finals here. Best of 3 between C9 and, of course, Agilitas, a newer team here. Shout out to Agilitas for coming out today and being very prepared and very, very well executed, and they certainly should earn a place in your hearts as viewers as we watch the best of 3 begin very shortly.